From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson. National Signing Day is here, and the Cowboys have gotten their quarterback commitment, a scholarship quarterback in Keondre Wudtee. And Kyle Fredrickson joins us on the phone to talk about that. Kyle, very much up in the air if the Cowboys would get a scholarship quarterback in this class, but they do, coming from Bossier City, Louisiana. What kind of news is this for the Cowboys and this signing class?
Well, it's huge, and obviously OSU is set at quarterback for potentially 2 years, but certainly one more year with Mason Rudolph as the starter. But, as J.W. Walsh leaves the program to become a graduate assistant at TCU, the next man up for the Cowboys is a redshirt freshman and John Kolar, who doesn't have any experience. And, OSU fans are all too familiar with the idea that you're going to need more than one quarterback to complete a season. So, if anything, Wudtee just gives the Cowboys certainly some depth at the position and a guy with a lot of upside. We're talking about a 6'5" player who's a dual threat quarterback. He can make plays with his arm and his feet. And I think the Cowboys, after seeing what Walsh was able to do last year, like the idea of having a really multi-talented guy back there in this offense. So, it came down to OSU and TCU, and Wudtee's announcement was after Mike Gundy's press conference, so we weren't able to get much from him about the player. But you can bet that OSU fans and the coaching staff is sure glad that Wudtee picked the Cowboys.
Hey, real quick, Kyle, as we talk about dual threat guys, we've seen dual threat guys that like to run seem to have gotten hurt. I mean, that seems to be the trend, whether you're talking about OSU or more widely in the Big 12. Is this a case where a guy can run, but he's more pocket savvy, or is this truly more of a J.W. Walsh type of product in Keondre Wudtee?
Well, it's hard to say at this point. I mean, there's no doubting his arm. I mean, here's a guy who passed for more than 3,000 yards and 29 touchdowns as a senior, put up some big numbers as a junior, and really only had 2 seasons as a starter in Bossier City because he had a player in front of him who ended up going to LSU, who was a high-profile commit. So it's a bit of a small sample size for what he can do. But in talking with his coach, David Feaster, over the past couple weeks here and writing about him, he kind of has that quick twitch, and he's really tall and kind of lanky at this point. So, I would expect at this point that, he's probably a good candidate for a redshirt, being that Wudtee is pretty slim at this point. So, like you said, with the injury concerns, he's going to want to build some muscle and just put on some weight if he's going to be getting hit by some of these Big 12 linebackers to kind of prevent some of that injury. So it's yet to be seen, but, from what we know now, there's just certainly a lot of potential with this guy, being that he's just so athletic.
Definitely. So we'll have more on Keondre Wudtee's signing on newsok.com as we acquire that from Louisiana and, of course, in the Thursday Oklahoman. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.